I'm away. So...
Andrew, I can't disguise the fact that your decision still pains me. You've been a conservative all your life.
No, Father. You've been a conservative all my life.
Top around. Oh, check the oil, would you?
You going to the House of Commons, sir? So will you stick up?
Further than that, I hope.
Raymond!
Now what?
The sandwiches.
Will we make the train? We usually do, Mr. Gould.
Will you be there?
Yes, of course.
Will you be there on time? That's what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
Good. I trust I shall see you later. Wear a hat.
You know I only wear a hat at weddings, funerals, or in someone else's garden. What do you call today?
A christening.
Members desiring to take the oath.
I, Douglas Stewart, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, our heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
I, Charles Seymour, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, her heirs and successors according to law. So help me God.
It's like the first day at school, isn't it?
Yes, this is what I was thinking.
Oh, Dennis Thomas, 10 East.
Raymond Gould, Leeds North.
Teacher or lawyer?
Does it have to be either?
Well, the chances are you're not a banker. And a Labour man ought not to be seen to be too self-sufficient.
I'm a lawyer.
Ah, see what I mean.
Welcome to the House, Mr. Seymour.
Thank you.
I, Robert Atkinson, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, her heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God.
Andrew.
Douglas.
How are you bearing up? Fine. It's a bit of a cattle market, I'm afraid. Don't worry, it gets worse.
So I've been told.
You found somewhere to live yet?
Yes, cousins renting me his flat in Kensington.
Oh, you've got yourself lucky. When I first entered the house, I had to share a bed sit with 3 others. It was like Babylon in lamp. Is your father here?
No, he couldn't make it.
Well, when you get through this, I'll take you on a guided tour. Show you where you can put your gym shoes.
Joyce Gould. My husband's the tall one in the glasses by the table. See? Which one's yours?
He said the oath. He was one of the first.
Gone to pick up his wages, has he?
I'm sorry?
You don't get your money till you've said the oath because you're not really an MP until then.
Fascinating. Excuse me.
In lieu of the oath required by law, I do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, her heirs and successors, according to law.
Simon Kerslake. Simon Kerslake. Anyone here answered that name?
I do.
Ah, I'm Alec Pimkin. I'm your chief scout for the day.
Do I need one?
Unless you've got a roof into the building, yes. Some of the new intake have been known to wander off, never to be seen again. No one misses it, of course, least of all their constituents. May I give you a word of advice, Simon?
Certainly.
So long as the Tories are in opposition, try to dress for Westminster rather than Chelsea. Just think of all this. It's Victorian school for boys. Not everyone may root for Tom Brown, but absolutely nobody votes for Flashman. I'll pick you up later.
I hope you don't mind waiting. Christopher's going to show me around. I don't know how long it's going to take, maybe an hour or so.
On one condition, I can take off this damned hat. You're very impressive, darling.
Thank you.
Bye, Christopher.
Hello, I'm Andrew Fraser, Labour, Edinburgh Council.
Simon Kerslake, Faulkner.
I was just wondering, is it okay if I pair with you? That is, if you've not found anyone else yet. We're on opposite sides. If there's a vote that the whips aren't whipping us for, we can both agree not to turn up and cancel each other out. Gives us a fee.
Yes, I know about that. I'm sorry, I was just wondering who half these people were. I've never heard of them.
We all get them. People who think we might be useful one day. So what do you say?
Fine. Do we exchange telephone numbers, isn't it?
The usual ones. Your home, your business.
Oh, I haven't got one of those. This is my business.
Really? Then you're either rich, broke, or foolhardy.
Somewhere in between. What other numbers do you want?
Club, bookmaker, mistress.
I haven't got one of those either. I'm married.
Of course.
Hello, Simon. Just visiting.
No, I'm here for the duration, just like you.
Sorry about that, Charles.
Something tells me he doesn't like you.
We were rivals at Oxford, that's all.
Uh-huh. A girl?
No, far less important. President of the Union.
This is the members' smoking room. A bit like a club, as you can see. Used mainly by our lot, but you might find the odd Labour man in here from time to time.
Has the Prime Minister ever come in here?
It depends. You'll probably find Bainbridge in the tea room. He likes to pop in there for a chat. But that shouldn't concern you, Charles.
No.
Don't worry. He can't last long with his majority. He'll have to call another election soon.
When?
Let's just recover from this one, shall we?
Members' post office, government whip.
Excuse me. Do you know my husband, Raymond Gould?
I'm afraid not.
He's the member for Leeds North.
Oh, he's a Labour boy. Well, I suggest you leave a message for him. Now, you see the rack over there? Just leave a note in the box above his name. You know it's there because the nice men in the moss frost suits have done it.
I've already done that.
Ah, well, he's probably still being taken around. It can take hours. Excuse us, won't you?
I'm sorry, madam. This lobby is not for the public.
It's all right. I was leaving anyway.
So what will you do?
Well, I've got a colleague here in Chambers, and I'm tempted to join him. It'll be a loss of income, and I'll have to give up the practice in Leeds, but I can't be too choosy.
Penalty of the job, Raymond. We abandon our wives, our children, and our homes, and what do they give us in return? $17.50 a year and indigestion. Oh.
Am I out of office already?
I'm sorry, Prime Minister. I was just...
Trying it out for size, are we? Well, at least I hope you're a Labour man.
Yes. Raymond Gould.
Barrister, Leeds North. Good majority.
Welcome to the House, Raymond.
Thank you.
But for the moment, Dennis, a word.
Whatever you do, try and cut down on the number of committees you join. Be selective. Naturally, being an Oxford man, I'd recommend the Bow Group. They appreciate intellect there, and that's something you have inherited from your father. More importantly, you'll be noticed.
Thank you. I will.
This will be your office.
It's a bit small, isn't it? Still, I suppose it'll have to do.
Oh, it isn't just yours. You'll be sharing it with at least 3 others if you're lucky.
Well, no turning back now. The black sheep of the Frasers has been officially sworn in.
At least my father approves.
That's because the Mackenzies have very good taste.
Can I offer you a lift? Going to Paddington.
Paddington? I didn't know Tories lived in Paddington.
I don't. My wife works at the hospital there. Now, do you want a lift or not?
It's okay, I have a car. Simon, this is Alison Mackenzie. Alison, Simon Kerslake.
Hello. Oops, sorry, got to go.
Oh, by the way, who won?
Won what?
You and the other fellow at Oxford, President of the Union.
He did.
I'd prefer it if I didn't have to drink alone.
What?
Look, why don't we skip Desmond's party and eat by ourselves? I don't think I could face his wife's vol au vent and chips.
He wasn't there, was he?
Who?
Rupert.
I don't think that's too surprising, do you?
I suppose he didn't want to share in his brother's glory.
Have you ever shared in his?
There was never an occasion to.
Charles, your brother might not want to celebrate, but your wife does. So can we forget about him?
And Pluto entering your sun sign on the 21st indicates a positive change in your career. Be prepared for unexpected promotion. That means you're going to be Prime Minister.
Does it say whether that will be this month or next?
Don't joke about it. It's already in the stars.
Yeah, well, I've got to get my bum off the back bench first. Now, hurry up with the bath or we're going to be late.
There's plenty of time. You will be meeting influential people.
I won't if you don't get dressed.
That could mean the Queen.
Alison, you live in a world of fantasy.
Don't you ever dream of being invited to Buckingham Palace?
You mean as Prime Minister or to make up the numbers for tea?
Romance. Andrew, listen. You must now think seriously about your relationship with your partner. With Venus moving into your favor, forget any worries you might have about committing yourself to a permanent union. It's talking about us.
I don't believe in horoscopes. They're like opinion polls. You believe what you want to believe.
Hello, who is it?
Joyce.
Who?
Joyce, your wife.
Oh, yeah, I'll come down. Sorry, I didn't recognize your voice. I'm sorry I missed you this afternoon. I had some things to sort out to do with the practice, and when I came out, you'd gone.
How much are you paying for this?
Oh, it's only temporary.
I should hope so.
Joyce, MPs don't get paid fortunes, you know.
I know what MPs get. Talking about hygiene. Raymond, you can't live here. I bet you could buy an house in Bradford for what you're paying for this.
Unfortunately, the House of Commons has not yet moved to Bradford.
Full Employment at Any Cost by Raymond Gould. By heck, love, you don't half pick 'em. Take the weight off your feet. I'll cook you something nice. What you got?
Tins.
You're hopeless, aren't you? Full employment at any cost. I'd like to see the Prime Minister's face when he reads that.
You will in a month's time.
Oh, my God. I shall have to buy a new frock.
Now remember, always call him Prime Minister, even if he calls you Joyce.
What if he calls me Ethel?
I'm being serious.
Ray, if you'd rather go by yourself, just say so. Only don't keep going on about it.
I'm just
You're
worried.
just nervous. Well, that makes two of us. And we won't be the only ones. Come on, let's get it over with.
The invitation. I can't find the invitation.
As soon as Goldwater said extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice, Johnson had it in the bag. Agree?
It's funny how they all look like the cartoons, isn't it?
Welcome to the bun fight, Ray. And Joyce, nice to meet you.
Hello.
If you don't know who everyone is, I'll give you a tip. Half of these were invited by me, the other half by Joan. Joan, as you know, has a passion for the theatre, so all the scruffy ones are my lot. No offence, Joyce. You've got a very clever husband.
I know, Prime Minister. He's writing a book about politics, aren't you, Raymond?
Really? I must read it.
Well, I haven't found a publisher for it yet. I've submitted
You
it
must
to...
know some publishers, Prime Minister.
Ah, I'll talk to Nigel about it. Could be his kind of book. What kind of book is it?
You know, Andrew, your father's been giving me a hard time with the Scottish Development Board.
Send him a bottle of Isla Mist. It usually softens him up. And if that fails, surrender.
You shouldn't encourage Daddy to offer bribes.
It'll only be a bribe if he drinks it.
Oh, no, don't look now, but the PM is about to inflict the hawk from Washington on us. Sorry.
Hugh, have you met Bill Rawlings, the state governor of...
Arizona, the Grand Canyon State.
Of course, very good.
How are you?
Hugh Mackenzie, Secretary of State for Scotland.
Let's get out of here.
We can't yet.
I've booked a table at Rules.
We've only been here 20 minutes.
Well, if we could maneuver our way towards the door.
Oh, hang on a moment. I ought to rescue Daddy first.
Douglas? Who's that with Jimmy?
Her father's the chairman of the Scottish Theatre Trust.
What's her name?
Her name's Louise Forsyth, and she's spoken for.
Get some sleep so that I can.
Won't be long. Oh, damn.
Do you think anybody in this great nation of ours cares what I say about the beaching plan? Our motorways will preserve village duck ponds.
How much does it pay?
£20 for 1,000 words.
Then I care, but I also care about your health.
Now, that's your profession. If
this is to augment mine. Ah, sod it.
Come to bed.
I can't sleep on an overdraft.
Then sleep on me instead. Maybe we should think again about Wadham House.
No. I'm not sending Peter to state school. 50 brats per Marxist teacher. No, thank you.
It's better than getting into debt.
We're in debt. Why do you think I'm sitting here writing out my life in double space?
Well, you could have accepted Michael's offer.
Editor of a magazine. The last refuge of a scoundrel, to paraphrase whoever it was.
That's not going to help.
Do you remember Charles Seymour when we were up at Oxford?
Too well.
You know, he used to complain about how the gods had mistreated him. There he was, millionaire son of Lord So-and-so, skiing in San Moritz, swimming in the Caribbean, tailor-made shirts from Turnbull and Asser, tailor-made girlfriends from Blenheim and Castle Hard, Bentley in the fridge, number accounted aspirates.
You've drunk too much whiskey.
But to him, fate had been cruel. He was a second son. No title, no inheritance. Poor old Charles. And now, for the last month, I've sat with him on the back bench.
And?
We're equals. He knows it, and he'd do anything to get ahead of me.
What about you?
Go back to bed, Liz. I'll see you at breakfast.
Simon, a word. It looks as though our beloved leader is going to resign.
What? How do you know?
It's just come through on the tape. Not totally unexpected.
Well, what happens next?
But we elect a new one, and for the first time, the likes of you and I have a say in who it's going to be. None of the old boy network anymore.
Any front runners yet?
Well, it's too early to be sure, but one can't rule out Lindsay, of course, or Christopher Moran. My hunch is that it'll be a two-horse race. Simon, this election could be crucial for your future. Make sure you pick the winner.
Well, surely must have a say in the choice of the successor. Hang on, Alec. Yes?
Your wife is here, sir. You are taking her to lunch.
Ask her to come in, will you, please? Alec, you still there?
I must admit, I prefer you as a merchant banker to a politician. I'm treated with more respect here.
Well, thanks for letting me know, anyway. Goodbye.
I got the tests from the doctor this morning. He sees no reason why I can't have children. Medical reason, that is. Hello. I got the test from the doctor this morning. He
Yes,
sees no
I heard you
reason-
the first time. I don't want to discuss it now.
Oh, I'd settle for 3 cheers.
Gerald is going to resign.
When?
As soon as the next session finishes. Alec Pimpkin seems to think that Lindsay and Morland are out on their own.
So who do you favour?
Well, it's not quite as simple as that. I mean, neither of them know me particularly well, but at least they know me better than most of the new intake. Probably not even aware of their names.
Then let's make them aware.
Well, what do you suggest?
A few dinner parties with carefully selected guests, including the new members, whom naturally you will encourage to support your choice and make sure the candidate knows it.
It's going to mean an awful lot of dinner parties.
Well, let me worry about that. Now, who do you favour?
My instinct tells me Henry Lindsay.
So back it.
Yes, there's only one slight problem. He's a bachelor.
Oh, you mean he's
No, he's not like that at all. There's that kind of thinking that could lose him votes at a general election.
You're looking that far ahead.
Well, naturally, if I back the man who becomes leader of the party, it puts me in a very strong position.
Well, I wouldn't bank on it. Politicians aren't famous for keeping promises.
But if I back the wrong man, prime ministers don't forgive very easily, rather like jilted lovers.
I know exactly what you mean.
admit that Morland is more experienced. After all, he was Foreign Secretary and Deputy Leader. And don't forget, he did adopt me on my first day in the House.
No, because he's a family friend. But do family friends become Prime Minister?
Yes, actually, they do. You ought to try looking in our visitors' book sometime. Susie, come in a minute, will you, please?
Yes, sir.
I want the addresses and telephone numbers of everybody on this list. They're all MPs, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Thank you.
What happened to Caroline?
I don't have affairs with my secretaries. Caroline's ill, and Susie's a temp. All right? Now, the first dinner party on the third Tuesday in the new year.
And who will be the guest of honor?
Henry Lindsay.
We do a journeying one if the weather's okay.
Who'll be there at Christmas?
Oh, usual crowd, I suppose. All those who don't mind freezing to death.
I wish we could sleep together there.
We do.
No, silly. I mean officially.
Ah. Well, that would take all the fun out of passage creeping.
Daddy's going to be there, you know.
Where?
For Hogmanay.
Oh,
I just thought it'd be the ideal time to tell everyone.
you're not pregnant, are you?
No. I mean about our engagement.
Oh,
You did say that after you became an MP.
I know. I was just thinking. Alice and Fraser. Why not?
Never knew there were so many MPs. Most days you're lucky to see 24. Where do we begin?
You must have some idea of how they'll vote.
Only the usual toadies. And some of the older members who've given up any hope of promotion and so talk about loyalty and integrity.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's not why the majority will choose a candidate. Their reason is simple. Self-interest.
Just like yours.
Just like mine. That's why I have to be sure. So, let's start testing the water, shall we? Jack? Simon Kerslake. I just wanted to thank you again for dinner last week. Really? Is it that late? I am sorry. I'm so wrapped up on this leadership thing, I forgot the time. Yes, I agree. Everyone gets so worked up about nothing. I'm just going to plump for Morland and be done with it. Oh. Well, anyway, apologies again. Good night. He's for Lindsay. Don't admit to it outright, but he is.
You really for Morland?
No answer. Must be on his third port at the Carlton. I don't know. More yes than no.
I hope you're right.
Well, I haven't discounted Lindsay yet. Still a long way to go.
Do you realize it's after 12?
Perfect. Catch them when their guard is down. Geoffrey! Simon Kerslake.
Andrew. Trust you had a good journey.
Yes, fine, Donald, thanks.
What about Florence?
What about her?
For a honeymoon. Well,
It's sinking.
it's Venice.
So it is.
Don't you think it's a good idea? For a honeymoon.
Well, we haven't even announced our engagement yet.
I think your mother already suspects. She's been asking oblique questions ever since we arrived.
I wondered who'd removed the dog basket between your room and mine.
Should we announce it now?
Well, I think we ought to wait until there are a few drams inside them first.
Coward.
All right. After supper. I promise.
A little bird told me you're about to surrender your bachelorhood.
Did it now? I wonder which little bird that was.
Alison will make you a wonderful wife.
Not dancing, Andrew?
Oh, 2 left feet.
No, that's why you joined the Labour Party, eh? This is a bit unconventional, but I'd like you to come and see me after the recess at the ministry.
Uh-huh.
Keep it under your hat for now, but there's an appointment that I think might be of interest to you.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I'll look forward to that.
Just
Will it...
let's enjoy harmony, shall we? I understand that this is going to be an evening for celebration.
I saw Daddy talking to you. Did he tell you?
Well, he hinted at something.
He's so happy for both of us.
You won't remember, but we met 3 years ago at a party given by Lord Kildare.
Oh. We belong to the same clan.
You were with the rather pretty red-haired.
Was I? Who were you with?
A rather fat second cousin.
Yes, they usually are. Is Jamie a cousin?
No, he's a friend.
A close friend?
Quite close. I'd better get
Don't
back.
go yet.
Your father seems rather upset you joined the Labour Party.
I think he was hurt most because I'd broken a Fraser tradition. They're all true blue under the kilt. Did you know that the last man in Britain ever to be beheaded in public was a Fraser? I feel my father would rather honor him than me, you know? He sees me as being rather reckless and impulsive.
Are you?
I can be. If I want something badly enough. Wait, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will you take your partners for
I
the
think I ought to
gay
have one
gardens?
dance with my daughter before supper.
But of course, why not?
Thanks very much.
Good dance.
I always wanted to be a crofter. Clay pipe and blackthorn stick. To be honest, I still do. What did you want to be when you were a child?
Oh, I don't really know.
A ballerina.
I do remember I once wanted to be Natalie Wood, kissing James Dean in his red jacket.
Ah.
Then I just wanted to be what every girl wants.
Look, I must see you again. In London, maybe.
No.
When will you next be
No,
down?
I'm sorry.
But in Edinburgh, then. Wherever you like.
No.
Give me a telephone number. Say it, I'll remember it.
No.
Please, just a dinner or something.
But you're getting engaged to Alice.
No, I'm not.
We ought to go, Louise. We promised Alistair we'd be there before midnight.
Bye.
They've all gone first footing. Why didn't you tell them? Don't you realize what a fool you made of me? Everyone kept asking whether we were engaged or not, and all I could do was make excuses. You might have said something.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Andrew. God, you're so obvious. You never once thought how I might feel.
About what?
About that silly little virgin you were trying to seduce. Everyone could see.
I'm going to my bed. Good night.
Happy New Year!
I'm sorry I'm late.
What are you drinking?
Oh, G&T, please.
Oh. Well, how was the holiday?
I spent it with my mother in Bournemouth.
Somewhere I've never been. What's it like?
Shelley's wife is buried there. His father was an MP now. Did you know that?
I read English at Oxford.
Which means you didn't know.
Which means I didn't know. Alec, Lindsay or Morland? Who's going to win?
Will it be a double, Jane, or a single?
Double, of course.
Is that a bribe?
Yes.
I don't think I know.
Make it a single.
Well, we know the two traditional ways to get to the top. Sycophancy or rebellion. Which twin has which?
Lindsay? Who knows? Morland?
Sycophancy and something more.
What?
Why don't you ask him? He's sitting over there.
I intend to in a minute. Now I'm asking you. Who's going to win? Large gin tonic for my guest. Nothing else for me. Well?
I'd heard you'd been touting.
They're not all straight answers.
Well, naturally, we all want the same as you.
Which is?
Which is to be in the winner's circle, and if we're lucky, to be allowed to pat the horse's neck.
Let's stop pussyfooting, Alec. You hitched a lift on me from day one. You're too shrewd to choose me because of my aftershave. Who?
you seem to forget, Simon, is that I am a backbencher, too. I'm your rival, just as much as anyone else when it comes to ambition.
Who?
Moreland, but don't quote me.
Why should I ever do that? Cheers, honey. May I join you for a moment, if I'm not disturbing you? Of course, I haven't talked to everyone personally, nor can I afford to solicit opinions over cocktails and canapes.
It's not always a very good indicator anyway.
But what I have managed to learn is favorable.
To you or to me?
I don't follow.
This voluntary PR work you're doing for me is, I assume, not totally altruistic.
I believe you are the right candidate.
Well, you're not the only one who's told me that. What do you expect in return?
Quite simply, I don't want to be staring at the back of your head when you're leader of the opposition.
I respect your honesty. But you may be surprised at my ingratitude. I may also fail to be elected.
I see. Thank you.
I'll go. Alice?
Where is she? Is she here? I just want to see her. You might at least have had the decency to tell me in person.
I'm sorry, Mr. Fraser, but your appointment with the minister was apparently cancelled.
Cancelled? Do you mean postponed? Has Mr. Mackenzie arranged it for another day?
I checked with the minister on that point, and it appears he has no plans for any meeting with you either today or in the future. You probably understand he's a very busy man.
I see. Thanks.
Oh, how do you manage that? I always reply to him in French. Never fails.
Yes, it has. Yes. Your brother's very well. Painted by Holbein, just after George Seymour was made a peer.
But you didn't inherit the title.
No, my twin brother did. He was born 9 minutes before me.
So if it weren't for an accident of birth, you might not be in the Commons.
I could say the same thing about Churchill.
Let's hope you're as fortunate.
Well, of course he will be. Charles has always prided himself on his sense of judgment. He's also very loyal, an attribute that I know you value highly, Mr. Lindsay.
It's really very fine. Very fine indeed. Particularly
Simon, glad you could make it.
I've heard your parties are always amusing, so I thought I'd see for myself.
You've met my wife before, haven't you?
Of course. The May ball, wasn't it?
Good memory. I was Fiona Pelham then.
You remember?
Your wife not with you?
No, I'm afraid not. Elizabeth's on call tonight. She's a doctor.
Excuse me.
Well, grab yourself a drink and come and meet Henry Lindsay.
How conveniently loyalties like that can be forgotten. Don't you think so? Especially when political futures are at stake.
Evening, Alec. Richer by 30 pieces of silver.
A little more than that, I hope. What's your excuse?
None whatsoever.
This is probably indiscreet, but are you voting for Lindsay?
Yes, it is indiscreet.
You two know each other, don't you? Ah, Henry Lindsay, Simon Kerslake. Hello, Simon.
When did you get back?
Oh, just 10 minutes ago. Someone was reluctant to enter the world.
I don't blame him.
How was the party?
Oh, enlightening.
In what way?
Way he operates. Money can buy you a lot of friends when you need them. You should see his house. There must be £1 million worth of pictures on the walls.
It's nothing more than expensive wallpaper.
Then there's Fiona. I always thought that Charles was the prime mover. Not anymore.
I hope you're not expecting me to be like Fiona.
No.
Could we have a little more enthusiasm?
I mean it. She's the perfect politician's wife, but I'd much rather be married to you.
Well, at this time of night, I'll accept the compliment.
I'm going for Morland.
You sure? It's not just to spite Charles Seymour.
No. I considered that when I was driving home, but the issues are much too important for personal grievances. Lindsay's not a fool, and he may well win. But if it's a question of my own beliefs, it has to be Morland. I'll stand by that, whatever happens.
And the result of the election for leader of the Conservative Parliamentary Party is as follows. Henry Lindsay, 150 votes. Christopher Morland, 133 votes.
Simon, don't take it too hard. Lindsay only won by a narrow margin.
So, you picked the wrong man after all. Too bad. Many congratulations. Absolutely delighted for you. Splendid result.